We depart from John O'Groats on the northern tip of Scotland on our 40-minute ferry trip to Berwick, Orkney. Whilst we are travelling over the Pentland Firth, I will try to explain some of the history of the Orkneys. In 1472, following the failed payment of a dowry for James III's bride, Margaret of Denmark, Orkney was handed over to Scotland from Norway's king. During the Second World War, the huge expanse of Scapa Flow was used as anchorage for the British fleet. Then Scapa Flow had 4 channels into the North Sea. Churchill saw the danger in this and scuttled ships to close off these entrances. On the night of Friday the 13th of October 1939, HMS Royal Oak, a 600-foot-long, 29,000-ton dreadnought battleship, was sunk by torpedoes from a German U-boat, which had penetrated the British Navy's main anchorage at Scapa Flow. 833 men lost their lives, and the Second World War was just 6 weeks old. Fortunately, the main fleet had set sail the day before. Churchill brought Italian prisoners of war from Libya to construct the famous Churchill barriers to seal off these entrances for good. It was hard, heavy work in horrendous weather conditions, but the Italians blockaded the North Sea channels and made Scapa Flow a safer place. HMS Royal Oak is marked by a buoy and is a war grave. The only item that was taken from the ship was its bell, and we will see that later in the film. This is the Italian chapel. Outside we have a statue of George and the Dragon, made from cement and barbed wire. Then the chapel itself was constructed from 2 nissen huts. As you can see, this is a work of art. Very impressive considering this was wartime. These prisoners had hard shifts in very cold, wet and windy weather, moving the concrete blocks weighing up to 5 tons and blocking up water to depths of 59 feet. Over 1.5 miles of barriers. Stromness is the second most populated town in Orkney and is a long-established seaport. The old town is clustered along the characterful and winding main street, flanked with houses and shops built from local stone, with narrow lanes and alleys branching off it. There is a ferry link from Stromness to Scrabster on the north coast of mainland Scotland. Orcadians, as the people of Orkney are called, still hold very close links to Norway, as you can see in the Orkney flag being yellow in place of the Norwegian white. Skara Brae is a stone-built Neolithic settlement located on the Bay of Skale. It consists of 8 clustered houses and was occupied from roughly 3180 BC to 2500 BC. It is Europe's most complete Neolithic village. It is older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids. It has been called the Scottish Pompeii because of its excellent preservation. It was originally discovered after a severe storm in 1850. Orkney is situated at 59 degrees latitude north, which is the same as Alaska and St. Petersburg in Russia, but owing to the Gulf Stream, it has a temperate climate. Orkney consists of around 70 islands, scattered across a pristine sea, with 20 of these inhabited. St. Magnus Cathedral dominates the skyline of Kirkwall, the main town of Orkney. It is the most northerly cathedral in the British Isles, a fine example of Romanesque architecture built for the bishops of Orkney when the islands were ruled by the Norse Earls of Orkney. It is owned not by the church but by the borough of Kirkwall as a result of an act of King James III of Scotland following Orkney's annexation by the Scottish Crown in 1468. It has its own dungeon. Its construction commenced in 1137 and it was added to over the next 300 years. The first bishop was William the Old, and the diocese was under the authority of the Archbishop of Nidaros in Norway. It was for Bishop William that the nearby Bishop's Palace was built. Today it is a parish church of the Church of Scotland. Here we have the bell from HMS Royal Oak, a memorial to those 833 men lost in Scapa Flow.